Hare Krishna. Welcome all of you to the 35th lecture on Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto. This chapter is entitled as Deliverance of Vidhyadhar and Deliverance of Shankhchuda. We have been discussing last 4 times the details of Rasa Leela, and last time we completed the Rasa Leela chapter. So today we are going to the next chapter, that is 34th chapter. So interestingly, I gave one lecture in one group on Lord Shiva's glories on Shivaratri. And then today, when I was reading the 34th chapter of 10th Canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the beginning line was, on the day of Shivaratri, what happened in Krishna Leela? So there's some connection. On the day of Shivaratri, what happened? All the coward men, all the Gopas headed by Nanda Maharaj, they went to Ambikavan. I am yet to find out in Vrindavan where is this Ambikavan, because interestingly, it is mentioned that it is at the bank of Saraswati river. So I am yet to find out where is Saraswati river in Vrindavan. But nonetheless, this place must be there. Hare Krishna.
This place is in Gujarat. Jeev Goswami has commented on this.
Okay, fine. Thank you. So they went to this place and they took bath in Saraswati river. And then they worshipped Lord Pashupatinath and Ambika Devi. After worshipping Lord Pashupatinath and Ambika Devi, they gave a lot of dakshina to Brahmins, which is cows, gold, very beautiful clothing, and food mixed with honey. And after that also they fasted with only drinking water of river for the whole day, and they lay down to take rest in the night. At night, it's like at night, what happened? Everybody is anyway weak and tired, and with little water only they are resting on the ground. And suddenly a huge hungry snake came there, and he selectively attacked Nanda Maharaj, and he started devouring him. That means swallowing him. We cannot imagine how big the snakes can be. Like we have heard about Aghasur last time. His mouth was like a big city actually. And thousands and thousands upon the coward boys entered. So like that, this snake was able to swallow Nanda Maharaj alive from his leg side. And you know how snakes are warm or cold? Snakes are cold in nature. So the cold body of the snake is swallowing the body of Nanda Maharaj. And then Nanda Maharaj started shouting, Krishna, Krishna, save me. I'm getting devoured by the snake. Please come and save me. Please come and save me. All men woke up by this cry, loud cry of Nanda Maharaj, and started beating the snake with burning logs of firewood. But there was no effect on the snake. The snake was getting burnt from the other side of the body, not from mouth side, but still he was steadily and progressively swallowing Nanda Maharaj. And then suddenly Krishna came and he touched the snake with his lotus feet. As soon as he touched the lotus feet, Shukdev Goswami explains that all the sinful reactions of karma were burned to ashes of the snake. And the snake body, reptile body, immediately disappeared from there, which was earlier a very ghastly, fearful scene, swallowing the very body of the dearest Nanda Maharaj. It was creating such kind of panic and fear. The whole body itself disappeared. Nanda Maharaj was in one piece, very safe. And in place of that beautiful, not beautiful, in the place of that fearful snake, a beautifully decorated, ornamented, effulgent demigod appeared. So Krishna said, "Oh, you are so beautiful, glowing with such effulgence. Who are you? And how did you become snake in the first place?" So that beautiful demigod answered, "I am a Vidyadhara." Now Vidyadhar is not a name. Vidyadhar is a type of demigods. Like we have Vidyadhara, Charanas, Yakshas, and so many Gandharvas, so many types of demigods, and they have their different lokas and different specialities. So Vidyadharas are those demigods which are fully well versed in Vidya, Adhyatmic Vidya. They are called Vidyadhara. So he was a Vidyadhar named as Sudarshan. He said, "My name is Sudarshan. I'm a Vidyadhara from Vidyadhar Loka. I was very opulent and beautiful." This story, this kind of story, keeps coming again and again in Srimad Bhagavatam and various places. Somebody is very beautiful, somebody is very opulent, somebody is very powerful, somebody is very strong, and he was also very opulent. So he had an airplane, and he would always move around in airplane all over the space, from loka to loka, from planet to planet. Once, while he was proudly wandering over one earthly planet, he saw on a mountain. Which mountain was that? That is not mentioned here. He saw some sages which were in the dynasty or in the family of Angira Muni. Now, very interesting point is here. It is mentioned very clearly that the sages which were seen by Vidyadhara, they were not very good looking. In fact, they were ugly looking. So he went close by to them in his airplane and started laughing at them, started laughing and ridiculing, because he thought he is so beautiful and they are not. So looking at his attitude toward the great sages, what happened? The sages were headed by Angira Muni. Angira Muni cursed the Vidyadhara demigod named Sudarshan. He cursed him and he said that you need to become ugly like a snake, because snake is not beautiful at all. And you think you are so beautiful, so I will make you a snake. And instantly, this particular demigod became a snake on the spot. And then, naturally, he became very humble. So Angira Muni thought, "Oh, he's become humble now. He's lost his pride of beauty. His beauty is lost, so pride of beauty also is lost." He said, "When Krishna will touch his lotus feet on you in Varaha Kalpa, in Vaivasvata Manvantara," that means in the Kalpa of Adivaraha Kalpe, and in the reign of Manu, who is the son of sun god, Vaivasvata Manu, son of Vivaswan, is called Vaivasvata. So in that Manvantara, there is 28 Dwapar Yuga. That time, Sri Krishna will touch you by his feet. And as soon as he does that, you will be delivered from this ugly body. So, he's now telling this story to Krishna actually. So Krishna, he said, "You are the supreme spiritual master of the whole world. Your lotus feet has touched me. Actually, it was a curse on me, but it turned out to be a blessing on me, because your lotus feet is touched. And you have relieved me of all the inauspiciousness. Now please give me permission, and I would like to go back to my own place." So he took permission of Krishna, he circumambulated Krishna, and he went back to his Vidyadhar Loka. So a very beautiful lesson to learn. In case of Bakasur also we learned that Utkacha, the son of Hayagriva demon, was very, very, very handsome and very proud of his strength also. He had subdued all the demigods for 100 celestial years, 100 Swargiya Varsha. And then what happened? He went to Jajali Muni's ashram and somehow misbehaved there. Jajali Muni came there and still told him, "Stop, don't eat fish in my area. These are fish maintained by me. Don't eat them. They're not eatables. They are my living entities, brothers and sisters. They kept on eating the fish. So he said, okay, you like to eat fish so much, you become a duck. So on the spot, that beautiful demon became a duck. So similarly, Vidhyadhara. Last time we read a story of Agasur. I told, I think, some lecture in the last 2-3 days. So Agasur also was a very, very beautiful, beautiful demigod. Very powerful. And he went to Malayagiri, today's Malaysia. And there is Ashtavakra Muni. Ashtavakra Muni is having 8 bends in his body. Now Krishna is Trivakra. And even Kubja was Trivakra. 3 bends in his body, her body. Krishna has voluntarily made 3 bends in his body. Tribhangi. Here Ashtavakra, Ashtabhangi body. 8 places it was bent. So he would walk like an octopus, 8 octopus. So the way he was walking, he was such a great sage, but he had such ugly body. So this particular demon laughed. As soon as he laughed, Angira Muni is so powerful. Angira Muni, Ashtavakra Muni is so powerful. He made him Ajgar, the python, the most ugly creature. So any opulence, whether we are beautiful, whether we are knowledgeable, whether we are very strong, whether we are very renounced or intelligent, wisdom, any of these opulence can make us proud. So that's why Kunti Devi says, Janma Aishwarya Shruti Srivir E Dama Madayan Puman. E Daman Madaha Puman. Any human being, Puman, becomes proud of his high birth, the opulence, and Shri means beauty, and Janma Aishwarya Shruti Srivir. Shruti means knowledge. Any of these 4 things are in abundance in somebody's body, in somebody's being, somebody's existence. Then that is not a very conducive situation to receive the mercy of the Lord, or the devotion to the Lord. And Tvam Akinchana Gocharam, one who is actually Akinchana, that means, no wealth at all. One who feels like that. It doesn't mean that you have wealth and you have to be proud. You can have abundance of wealth, but you can be humble also at the same time. Knowing that all this wealth belongs to the Lord. All the authority belongs to the Lord. It's given by Lord to me to use in His service. All the knowledge that I have got is supposed to be used in His service. Everything belongs to Him. All my high birth, all my knowledge, all my beauty, all my intelligence, all my wisdom. Everything belongs to Him. So it is said that somebody is very, 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 very powerful, very, very, very beautiful, very, very knowledgeable, but still is humble. Then it is to be understood as the mercy of Srimati Radharani or Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Both are true. I repeat again, if you and me, any of us or anybody of us in this world have abundance of all the opulences in the world, but still somehow he or she can maintain humility, true humility, and feelings of akinchana gocharam. That means actually I am poverty stricken. What is the poverty he is talking about? Poverty of devotion. There is enough wealth about so many things in the world, but he feels, although everything is there, everything is first of all not belonging to me, it belongs to the Lord, and everything has a beginning and end. When I will leave, if it is mine, I can take it with me, but it's not going to become with me. So that means it is not mine. It's going to be left here only. Somebody else will, my children will take it, or moth will rot it, or anybody else, it gets rotten from here only. Knowing well this truth of life, the person maintains humility. And that is where he doesn't have to become python or a snake or ajgar or anything else. He will always remain at the feet of the Lord. The meek and the humble shall inherit the kingdom of God. That's what we hear regularly. Not those who are wealthy, high birth people, who are very knowledgeable and very, very beautiful, very powerful, influential people. They do not inherit the kingdom of God, because they only are inheriting the material aspect of the kingdom of God, which is not belonging to them. It will go away in the course of time by the power of time. So Vidhyadhara is teaching us 2 things we can learn. That if at all somebody is very beautiful, handsome, Somebody is, very powerful, very strong, steel-like body, or somebody is extraordinarily knowledgeable. He's got all knowledge of material world, science, spiritual world, scriptures, slokas, and he can quote and connect and, give a beautiful analytical understanding of every single thing that comes across in life. But he's not proud. He knows it belongs to Lord. Then the life is successful. Then everything what we have becomes meaningful when it is used in service to Krishna. When your knowledge is used in service to Krishna, knowledge expands. Knowledge doesn't decrease. When the knowledge is acquired and not shared, it gets rotten, it gets corrupted. Like anything you keep and don't use, what happens? In today's modern language of software, it gets corrupted. If you bring some food and don't eat it, keep it in the refrigerator, it gets rotten in the course of time. Similarly, wealth which is not used in service to the Lord gets rotten in the course of time, gets corrupted. It corrupts you also. You get also, wealth also gets corrupted. You also get corrupted with the power of wealth. This is one lesson. And second thing is, whenever a sadhu gives us some, curse, like the two sons of Kubera, they became trees, the lowest of creatures. So many became snakes and asgars and pythons. Some became horse, some became bull, some became, so many things, some became a duck. All these curses typically are given by a sage. And they are apparently in the beginning look so painful. Somebody so beautiful, attractive, effulgent, shining, suddenly becomes a duck. It's like sudden instant transformation to unworthy situation. But in the course of time, when that unworthy situation is tolerated and accepted for long period of time, then it becomes a blessing, because finally there is a Ushapa or there is a Vardhan. Yes, you will become duck, but when Krishna will enter your body, you will be delivered from the duck body and you will get, Sayujya Mukti. Some people get entrance in Golok Vrindavan Dham. So Vidhyadhar did not go back to Godhead, but Vidhyadhar went back to his own loka. But what is his gratitude? He says, yes, my Lord, I was very proud before. That time also I was Vidhyadhar Sudarshan. And today also I have Sudarshan Vidhyadhar only. But the great difference is the great Amulagra. Amulagra means right from top to bottom. Amula Agra. Amulagra, transformation of consciousness is there now. Now I understand my position as nothing in front of you and your position as everything in front of everybody. All in all, sarve sarva, sarvato pari. So I do not consider that thing, Angira Muni's curse, as curse. Actually, it is blessing. And always, although initially when our consciousness is wrong or contaminated or sadosha, it may appear that time as a curse. But even that time it is a blessing, even later also is blessing. When you realize it is blessing, it's also blessing. But when we did not realize it is a blessing, that time also it is blessing only. It's a matter of time. When our consciousness will get purified, it will change, it will get transformed, then you will understand it was a blessing right from beginning. When Narad Muni cursed the sons of Kubera, that time only it was blessing. That they will be able to see the Lord Krishna's Bala Lila in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj. They will be born there, they will be living there for thousands and thousands of years, for many yugas to pass. But by the way, it will be culminating into the observation of Krishna's most precious childhood pastimes. Imagine. So this is second lesson. So sadhus are always merciful. Whether they appear harsh to you by giving curse, or whether they give you blessing like this, Krishna and Madhirastu, both are blessings all the time. Every activity is Kalyankari. Every activity is welfare activity for ultimate welfare of all the living beings. So this is where on the Shivaratri day, suddenly Nanda Maharaj was followed by snake and he was saved by Krishna and Vidhyadhar appeared. And then Vidhyadhar, when he was transformed, every cowherd boy was amazed. Amazed. They saw Krishna touching his feet on the snake's body disappearing, and he's becoming beautiful. Vidhyadhara is doing pradakshina, bowing down and glorifying Krishna. They were so wonderstruck. Who is our friend Krishna? how powerful he is. Look at him. Our father, everybody's father, Nanda Maharaj was about to die. And Krishna, see how miraculously such a small boy just touched his feet to the snake's body and the snake disappeared. And a wonderful, miraculous thing happened. So the coward boys all the time are watching miracles. And their appreciation of Krishna's glories is increasing day by day. Then, in the same 34th chapter of 10th canto, there is Leela number 2. So, I will just tell you the end part of the story first. Then we'll go flashback. Huh? It's like a movie. Nah? Suddenly, in the movie begins with one murder. Person dies. And somebody comes and starts looking in zero, like, looking nowhere. And then the camera goes close to the eyes of the person and the movie starts. The whole story begins. And again, at the end of the movie, the same scene comes, which is in the beginning of the movie. Now you come to this is the whole connection. All story in flashback. So what's our Leela 2 beginning with? The Leela 2 is beginning with Krishna killed Shankhchuda demon. And Shankhchuda's life force, life spark, came out of his body and merged in the body of Krishna's friend Sridama. Usually when we read Krishna Leela, what happens? Aghasur died. Aghasur's, spark, Atma, effulgent, like many suns, standing in the sky, waiting for Krishna to come out. And then as soon as he comes out, this particular spark enters the body of Krishna. But never you have heard that it entered in the body of Radha, or Madhu Mangal, or Sridama, or Sudama, or Nanda Maharaj. You have heard that. But in this particular case, when Shankhchuda was killed by Krishna, the spark of Shankhchuda, the Jivatma, the uncovered, purified Jiva, not covered with Manabuddhi, Ahankar, or anything contamination, this purest form of spiritual existence. It entered the body of Shankhchuda, entered the body of Sridama, the older brother of Radharani and the dearest friend of Krishna. So now, this particular story of Krishna killing Shankhchuda, it is given in Garga Samhita also, Srimad Bhagavatam also, Anand Vrindavan Champu also, Gopal Champu also, in so many scriptures it is given. And everywhere there is a discussion between two people. Like here, Shukdev Maharaj is telling Parikshit Maharaj. In Garga Samhita, who is telling whom? Narad Muni is telling Bahulashva, the king of Mithila. So immediately Bahulashva, the attentive speaker, listener, like the attentive Parikshit Maharaj, he asked question to Narad Muni. How did the spark of life from the body of Shankhchuda enter the body of Sridama? So then Narad Muni starts telling the story. This story is not there in Bhagavatam. So Narad Muni tells very interestingly that this story I have heard from the very lotus mouth of Lord Narayan from Vaikuntha. That is very interesting. And this story, what Narayan told me, actually happened in Goloka Vrindavan. So now the scene beginning with Goloka Vrindavan. Now we all go to Goloka Vrindavan. Huh? Please be in Goloka Vrindavan now with your consciousness. And there Krishna has 3 wives. Did you know this? Krishna had 3 wives. And first wife is Sri Radha. Second wife is Sri Viraja Devi, or also Vijaya Devi. And third is Bhu Devi. These were the 3 officiated wives of Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. So one day Krishna was spending his personal time with his second queen, that is Viraja Devi, in a very private kunja, very beautiful grove of flowers. And Viraja Devi was bedecked with all the jewels, and she was effulgent with the complexion of 10 million moons at one time. 10 million moons, what kind of complexion that can give? That was the complexion and effulgence of Viraja Devi. And when they were in the seclusion, enjoying each other's company, Radharani came to know that Krishna is with my co-wife. And see Radharani's opulence in Golok Vrindavan. We have not seen this opulence when she was in Bhauma Vrindavan on the earthly planet when she was performing Leela. Radharani rode a chariot. See, there were about 10 billion gopis in that. 10 billion. 10 billion is 1,000 million gopis. That is 1,000 million means 10,000 lakhs of gopis. That means 100 crore of gopis. 1,000 crores of gopis, 1,000 crores of gopis were there on that chariot. So the chariot must be of what size? Chariot is 800 miles long, 800 miles high in the sky. It's like a city only. Everything is there in that. And crores of she horses, because Radharani is a lady, it is pulled by she horses. There are crores of she horses pulling the chariot. And with that chariot, the 10 billion gopis are holding chadi. Chadi means what? The bamboo sticks. Thin, knotted bamboo sticks, which are like our teachers used to use to beat us on the hand. Just hold like this and then it will become red. Somebody will get 5, somebody will get 10, somebody will get 100. Sometimes on the back also. So all of them were carrying this Veta. They were called Vetradhari. And Radha went to see Krishna in that Kunja, and Sridama was guarding that Kunja as a friend. Radha chastised him, and the gopis beat him with the bait that they had, with the bamboo stick. And Krishna heard the sound of commotion at the gate of the Kunja. So he understood there's some noise, and I think Radharani must have come, so he disappeared. And Viraja Devi immediately turned into a river and took many branches and started moving around here and there in the Golok Vrindavan. So Radharani went inside the Kunja and searched what she had thought, that Krishna must be there, I will catch Krishna. And nobody was there. So she went back. After she went back, Krishna again came back. And he converted the river again back to the beautiful lady, that is Vidhyadhar. And again had association with her. And it said, by the power and the effulgence of Krishna, Krishna begot 7 sons in the womb of Virija Devi. And the 7 sons were born. And they grew up. It's a long story. And they grew up and they started fighting with each other. The youngest son was beaten by other 6 sons. And the youngest son came crying to the lap of the mother. And mother, the 6 brothers are eating me. Please save me. So mother took him close and caressed him. And at that very time, Krishna was actually with Viraja river, Viraja Gopi. So Krishna saw this commotion, children coming and fighting. So Krishna disappeared. So as he was trying to pacify the children, she saw Krishna disappeared. She got disturbed that, I lost the association of Krishna. So she cursed all her sons that you guys made me get separated from your father. So I curse you. That you fought because you were together. I curse you. You will never be together. You will go on earth and always be separated in the form of 7 oceans. You will become oceans. And nobody will be able to find out your depth. And you will be so far away from each other. You will only meet at the time of devastation. Only for a few minutes. What happens in devastation? All the earth is inundated with water. So that time all the 7 oceans become one. And they meet each other. That's all. So the 7 sons of Viraja Devi, they became oceans in the world, in the material world. What are the oceans? Kshara Sagar. What is Kshara Sagar? The salty ocean that we have. It is supposed to be youngest. So mother Viraja became very compassionate and kind, and she felt bad that I cursed my sons and they became oceans now, separated from one another. So she begged to Krishna, please, you be very kind to this son of mine who is very dear to me, who is youngest of all. That is salty ocean. That is our ocean. So Krishna said, yes, when I will come as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I will take bath in and perform my pastimes. That's why this particular ocean, which is in Jagannath Puri, which is actually salty ocean all over the earth, this ocean is supposed to be Mahodadhi. The greatest of all the holy places on earth is Mahodadhi. Dadhi is reservoir, and Mahodadhi means the highest of all reservoirs of divinity. So then Virija said that you are the cause of my separation from Krishna, so I curse you. So they become all became oceans. So it is explained very interestingly, just because topic has come, I'll explain to you. If X is the quantity of water in one ocean, so 1x is the quantity of salty ocean, that is ours. Next ocean is sugarcane juice, 2 times as the volume of salty ocean. The next ocean is of liquor, double that volume, that is 4 times. 1, then 2, then 4, 4x. Then there is a ocean of ghee, clarified butter, double than that, 8x. Then there is double than that is yogurt ocean, 16x. Then there is double than that is milk ocean, Shir Sagar, 32x. And double than that, 64x is Swadu Jala, that is sweet water, sweet purified water. So 1x, 2x, 4x, 8x, 16x, 32x, and 64x are these 7 different oceans at 7 different places in the material creation in one Brahmanda. Krishna, because Viraja actually, cursed her sons, she became sad. So Krishna came and pacified her, and somehow then she went away. He said, "Don't worry, I will be merciful to your sons, and I'll take care of them." Then he went to Sridhama. He went to Sridhama and he said, "Oh, Radharani also was very upset because I was associating with Viraja. Let us go and meet Radharani." So she took Sridhama and went. And as soon as he went to meet Radharani in the private kunj, she saw Krishna coming and she became very upset. In the Sanskrit word, it said she became Manavati. Manavati means she became, upset. Root gayi Radharani. So she said, "You like the company of Viraja? Please go away and be with her only. Don't be with me." Huh? Sridhama felt bad. Sridhama said, "Arey, you glorify Krishna." Sorry, he said that you insult Krishna. You don't know Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is Golokeshwara. He can create crores of Radharani like you. Who are you in front of him? He has created you and you are getting angry with him. Don't be so proud of feeling something like you're very special. So then Radharani said, "You glorify Krishna and criticize me?" There's every reason to get angry. Always we can get angry on some of the argument. He is saying, because Krishna gives you so much of favor, you are insulting Krishna. You don't know Krishna, he can create millions of Radharanis like you. And she said, "You're glorifying Krishna, insulting me?" Sudama said, "Because you are always close to Krishna. Krishna is very close to you always and favorable to you. That is why you are so proud. I curse you, O Radharani, to go on earth and experience viraha of Krishna for 100 years. So Radharani said, "I also curse you to get out of Goloka and become a demon." It's like cursing and counter cursing. Huh? Again, I'll repeat. Radharani said, "You become a demon and get out of Goloka." And Sridhama says, "Because you are favored by Radha Krishna and he is close to you, so you are proud, you also go out of Golok Vrindavan. And he will be out of Golok Vrindavan whenever you will go. He will be 100 years in that life of yours on earth. He will be 100 years away from you." That is why it is said, a decade of milan, decade of union, and a century of separation. The life of Krishna and Radharani in material world, in Prithvi, is explained as a decade of union and a century of separation. They were about 11 years together and more than 100 years away from each other. And then they both got very morose because why they cursed each other. So then Krishna came up and he said, "Don't worry, this is all my lila. I wanted to actually perform my pastimes. I will go down in Varaha Kalpa, in the material world, and in Vaivasvata Manu Antara, that is his period, in 28 Dwapar Yuga, I will come there. And that time you will come as a demon there in Rasamandal and you will disturb me and then I will kill you. So don't worry, it will be by one part of yours, you become a demon, and by full part of yours, you will become my brother. I mean, my co-brother and my dearest Gopa. Will perform cowarding pastimes, but one part of yours will become demon, and I will get you killed. So now, this Sridama, the part of Sridama, took birth in Yakshaloka, in the house of a yaksha called Sudhana, and he became extremely powerful. He was supposed to be one of the greatest of all Gada warriors. Now, Gada Kaushal he had. He was playing the club. He was invincible. Nobody could defeat him in the Gada Yuddha, in Gada Kaushal. And he somehow, some people are very charismatic. So he became the personal servant of Kubera, the treasurer of wealth of all the demigods. Such a fantastic personality. Most glorious and more worshipable and most influential and powerful personality. So because he was very close servant of Kubera, he became proud, extremely proud. He also became extremely powerful and expert in Gada. So he wanted to play and find a rival. So he heard Kamsa is the greatest of Gada Yuddha and very powerful in all his prowess. So he took one Gada which weighed only 40 lakh kilos. It is called 1 lakh bhar. 1 bhar is 40 kilos. So 1 lakh bhar, that means 40 lakhs of kilos of Gada, weighing one Gada. He took that Gada and he just entered Mathura Nagari, straight in the assembly of Kamsa. And he said, Kamsa, I heard you are very powerful. You have captured so many people who are very, very powerful. And I challenge you to fight with me. And Kamsa is so powerful, he's not scared of anybody. Somebody challenging him, Kshatriya just got up. He also picked up a Gada of 40 lakh kilos weight. And there and there itself, in the assembly, started fighting. And the way they were fighting, first of all, they were so strong, they could hold and move and hit with that kind of Gada. How much strong they must be. And they were hitting each other on the Gada, and finally the hits were so strong that their both Gadas became powdered by repeated hitting. Then they threw away the Gadas, broken Gadas, and then they started punching each other, Mushti Yuddha. And that went on for a long time. It is said that Sridama, that is Shankhchuda, the demon, picked up Kamsa and threw in the sky 800 miles. That is 100 yojanas. Then came down Kamsa, and he just was a little bit confused, and he got up again. He lifted Shankhchuda and threw 10,000 yojanas in the sky. And long time it took for him to go up and come down, and again Shankhchuda smashed on the ground. He was confused. He got up, and then they had wrestling matches, and they were 27 days fighting 1-to-1, tooth and nail. And nobody was appearing to be getting defeated. It was an amazing sight. Nobody was having any sign of winning or losing also. They were just going on and on and on fighting. They were so much powerfully equal. So suddenly after 27 days, Gargamuni appeared there. Gargamuni said, stop the war. Please stop. I request you to stop. Because, oh Kamsa, you smashed so many demons. You controlled so many demons. You captured so many demons. All over Digvijay you did, all over the world. But have you ever found equal like you, equal like Shankhchuda with you? No. I'm telling you, please do not continue fight, because you cannot defeat him, neither he can defeat you. So just stop the war, embrace each other, and love each other, and make friends with each other. So they also are such a great people. Immediately they stopped the war and they embraced one another, and they started expressing love for each other. They became friends. And this event took place, and Shankhchuda was very happy that he found the equal, he found a good friend. They embraced and they spent some good time, and then Shankhchuda left from there. This is the story up till this point is given in Garga Samhita. The next part of the story is given in Garga Samhita and Bhagavad also. And Anand Vrindavan Champu also, and Gopal Champu also. Okay. Now we will go to Anand Vrindavan Champu. So at the time when 27 days Kamsa and Shankhchuda had fight, it was a holy time in Vrindavan. Like now, from Vasant Panchami to the actual Holi, Dhuli Vandan, and 5 more days. So he ended his fight, embraced, and he left from there, and he was flying over Vrindavan Dham. And the Holi festival was going on. And being Holi festival, Krishna was performing Rasa Leela with Krishna, Rasa Leela with Radharani and Gopis, but also playing Holi in the Rasa Leela. There was a mixture of Leela. And Balram was throwing color on his Gopis, Krishna was throwing color on his Gopis. And everybody was so beautiful. The Gopis were so beautiful. They were so nicely ornamented. They were so attractive. They were so effulgent. So Shankhchuda thought, these ordinary coward boys, what is their qualification to enjoy with such beautiful ladies? I am so handsome. I am so powerful. I am so chivalrous. They are supposed to enjoy with me. They are my property. I am the right owner of the enjoyment. Who are these coward boys? So what he did, there's one gopi called Shata Chandranana. That means her face is like beautiful like 100 moons. She's a very dear gopi of Radharani's friend. So what he did, he just stole her ornaments and started pulling her also away. And Shata Chandranana started shouting, Krishna, Krishna, hey Balaram, hey Krishna, please save us, please save me. And he started, after one gopi, started dragging so many gopis towards north. In front of the eyes of Krishna and Balaram, he was taking them away, snatching them away. And suddenly Krishna thought, this is very audacious. So he said, so Balaram also got angry. And gopis are running and shouting and crying, crying and crying. And suddenly the Ras Mandala, Ras Leela is broken. Holi Leela is broken. Everything is shattered. Suddenly the Atank has come. The terrorism has started. So Krishna said, Balaram, you stand behind and take care of the gopis. I will take care of the demon. So when the demon saw Krishna coming behind him, he saw him as personified death, time personified, coming behind him. So he just left all the gopis, threw the ornaments away, and he ran and ran and ran all the way to Himalayas. And Krishna picked up one Shala Bruksha and started running, looking at Krishna's Avesh. The demon got scared. He went to Himalayas. Finally, he could not run further. So he also picked up one Shala Bruksha. And they started fighting, and the Shala Bruksha was smashed into pieces. And then they started fighting and boxing each other. And Krishna lifted Shankhchuda and threw him on the ground. And then Shankhchuda lifted Krishna and threw him on the ground. And Krishna lifted Shankhchuda and threw him in the sky. And Shankhchuda also lifted Krishna and then threw in the sky. A long time this battle took place. And finally, Krishna said, enough is enough. So Krishna gave him one box on his head. And his head was severed from his shoulders. And while the head was falling from the shoulders, Krishna held the head and plucked the Shankhamani from his head. Because one of the most important and interesting thing which was there on the body of this demon on the head was the Shankhamani. I request, please open your videos. There's only one person on the video. The thing is, everybody is closed. Let me check what is happening. Our katha is personal. Our katha is not impersonal. We don't speak to the screen. We speak to people. Please understand. Please open your videos. Hare Krishna. So, it is said that nice poetical words are given here in Anand Vrindavan Champu. Shankhchuda resembled a man delirious from the hot sun leaping in the tall tree like a mirage. He appeared like a foolish grasshopper jumping into the fire. He resembled a frog leaping in the mouth of the snake. Something like that. That means he was such a foolish person. And then when Krishna killed Shankhchuda, he picked up the jewel, he came back and he gave the jewel to Balaram as a gift. And he came back very victorious. And at that time, because Shankhchuda was a partial expansion of Sridhama, when he died, the life force, the effulgent life force entered in the body of Sri Rama. That is the whole story. So very beautiful explanation there, that when Krishna chased the demon, wherever he went, he looked like the king of lions running down the regal elephant, like a Garuda chasing a snake, like a hawk chasing a bird. The best of all men, who happily pleases his surrendered servant, grabbed the yaksha by hair, through Krishna's hand as soft as lotus. See, the contrast is mentioned here. Krishna's hands are as soft as lotus. When he punched that demon, it appeared and served him like thunderbolt. There's a contrast, Virodhabhas. And it was very high quality of effulgent gem of fine workmanship. That is the money. And the money was like a high quality effulgent gem of fine workmanship. The crushed jewel of the head of the Shankhchuda. He took it from it, plucked it from his body. It was very famous for his beauty. The body looked very lusterless after the money was broken out. Feeling excessive delight, Krishna gave the jewel to his elder brother as his consort looked upon. And my dear friends, very interestingly, you would like to know that this particular money finally became Shamantaka money. It was transferred from one place to another. It went to Dwarka, and from there it went to Akrura, and from there it was stolen by Satrajita, and Satrajita died. It was taken away by Jambuvanta, and then Krishna was defamed that Krishna was envious of Satrajita. So he conspired and he killed the demon, killed the Satrajita. Satrajita only spread the news that my brother Shatadhanva one day wore that and went away. And he was killed by a lion. And then the lion was killed by Jambuvanta and took the money. So then when he found his brother dead, Satrajit said, this Krishna has, he wanted that money anyways, and I did not give him, so he was upset, so he killed. So to save and to protect his dignity, Krishna went all the way out and brought the money back. And he said, here is your money. I don't want your money. Please take the money away. Then ashamed, Satrajit got his daughter Satyabhama and married with Krishna, but did not give the jewel back, kept the jewel with him only. And the jewel further created a lot of conspiracy. Akrura got trapped in that. So all this story began from the plucking of the money of Shankhchuda. And you all should be knowing, very interestingly, this whole story of killing of Shankhchuda took place in Loha Jangavan, where Loha Janga Rishi performed tapasya for 7 kalpas to attain the mercy of the Lord and attained Golok Vrindavan at the end of this tapasya. In that place of tapasya of Loha Janga Rishi in Vrindavan, Shankhchuda was killed. That's what is mentioned. And there is another Shankhchuda, which is not this Shankhchuda. That Shankhchuda is another demon to which Vrinda Devi married. Vrinda Devi got cursed from Narad Muni of spiritual world to come down and get married with a demon. It's a long story, actually. Very complicated stories are there. So this story tells that Vrinda Devi got married with Shankhchuda, and Shankhchuda was invincible because of her chastity. And then finally Vishnu broke the chastity of Vrinda Devi, and with Lord Shiva's trident, this demon Shankhchuda was killed, and he came shouting, "Oh Vrinda Devi, what happened? What happened?" And Vrinda Devi came to know that the person with me is not my husband. He is Lord Vishnu disguised as my husband. He broke my chastity. So she cursed him. You become a stone. So he said, you become a plant and I'll be a stone at your feet. So he became Shaligram Shila and she became Tulsi plant. And after she became Tulsi plant, then she attained Krishna as her husband. So partly because of the curse of Narad Muni, she got married with a demon first. But then her devotion to Krishna was proved that she got married with Shaligram and became the eternal wife of Shaligram. So this Shankhchuda is different. And the Shankhchuda Krishna killed was Sri Rama's avatar is totally different. And another interesting thing I read today was that Vedavati, the I think daughter of King Kushadhwaja. Vedavati, there are two brothers, Dharmadhwaja and Kushadhwaja. So Dharmadhwaja gave birth to Vrinda Devi after the curse. So that Devi took birth as daughter of Dharmadvaja. And then she got married with Shankhchuda and further things. And Kushadvaja gave birth to Vedavati. Vedavati was touched by Ravan, so she burnt herself. And she took birth as Chaya Sita. Not original Sita, but no, sorry, not Chaya Sita, but original Sita, as daughter of Janak Maharaj and his wife. And the same soul, what happened was, the same soul took birth as Draupadi in the third incarnation. So Vedavati, Sita, the same personality became Draupadi in the next yuga. How it was known? That she was so powerful at one point of time. One of the Pandavas saw that Draupadi was like Chandi Devi, devouring everybody on earth, including Kauravas. So they couldn't believe that our wife is to be so sober. She doesn't want to kill Ashwathama. And then I see that that means one who appears Durbal externally is internally very, 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 very powerful. So one who becomes humble, it doesn't mean that the humble person is a very powerless personality or a coward person. It's not like that. One is very, very powerful, but still externally very humble in front of the Lord and devotees. Something like that Draupadi was. She was extremely powerful. She could have burnt all the Kauravas in the Asat Sabha only. But as per the will of the Lord, she behaved and glorified Krishna and exemplified highest surrender, and Krishna appeared. So all these beautiful references are there in scriptures. So today we heard about deliverance of Vidhyadhar and deliverance of Shankhchuda. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Are there any questions by anybody?
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. I have one query, one small little thing I wanted to ask you about the pastimes. So, Prabhuji, you mentioned that Shankhchuda was...
Yes.
Sorry, Shankhchuda was Sridhama. And also we hear about Shishupal and Shankhchuda being the demons who came, Jay and Vijay who were cursed. So
No. Shishupal and Dantavakra.
Oh yeah,
Not Shankhchuda.
Yeah, sorry.
Ravan, Kumbhakarna, Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, and Shishupal Dantavakra. Dantavakra was killed first.
Yes.
And then his friend Dantavakra was extremely angered over the death of Shishupal. So he was waiting to take revenge. And then Krishna, in the name of killing Dantavakra, entered Mathura. He killed Dantavakra. And then he entered Vrindavan after 125 years. And then he took all the Vrijvasis back home, back to Godhead. So that is Dantavakra, not Shankhchuda.
Sorry, Prabhuji.
Shankhchuda also had one more story, that Shankhchuda actually stole the Singhasan of Radharani. In their Kusum Sarovar, there is one place called Sham Kuti, Sham 1. In that Sham 1, if when you go, there is something called as a Sham Kund. One more Kund is there, where Radha Krishna would meet, and that's the beginning of Govardhan above the ground. And that is a place where all the gopis would worship Radharani, making her sit on a jeweled throne, Ratna Singhasan. So one time Shankhchuda came there and stole the Singhasan and ran away. That story also is there. So where the Singhasan is now no more there, but the place is there where Radharani was worshipped by gopis on Ratna Singhasan. Hare Krishna.
Also, Prabhuji, if nobody has a question, I have
opened everybody. I have opened everybody's
if anybody else
eyes to open the audio. But you can ask in the meantime.
So another thing, Prabhuji, how did the money reach Satyajit then? If it was...
Yeah, so I told you, that Balramji took it to Dwarka. And I think from there's a long journey. I forgot the link in between. It somehow, from there, it was there in the Kosha, and then it was given to Satyajita because it was in between taken over by Sun God. And then Satyajit worshipped Sun God, and Sun God presented him with that money. That time it was called as Shamantakamani. And then it would give him something like 190 kilos of gold every day. Or 190 kilos of gold every day. Something like 270 kilos of gold every day. And he became very proud, and money was almost like a sun god. So one day his brother took that money and wore on his neck. He was looking like sun only. So the long chain is there. I will find out that chain. I had known this, I had forgotten now. But Balramji took it to Dwarka from there. It was in Dwarka. And from there it was, I think, presented by Krishna to sun god. And then sun god presented it to Satrajit after Tapasya. Like that. Anybody else has any question? Please ask before we end.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranams.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, may I know a little on Bindu Madhav of Mulki, Prabhuji? I went to Mulki and I saw Bindu Madhav. So,
Question of the topic.
yes, Prabhu. I wanted to know a little on Bindu Madhav of Mulki, the history, Prabhuji. Like how Narsim Dev's deity, there is a history, no, Prabhuji.
Bindu
I heard it one
Madhava is a lord from Varanasi.
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 Okay, Prabhuji. May I know the origin? Yes, Prabhuji. Origin, like how?
I am telling Mataji. Just
yes. Sure, Prabhuji.
I am telling. So Bindu Madhava is actually the lord who was established by Lord Shiva in Varanasi. He was worshipped by Vijay Tirtha Swami Vijay Tirtha, one of the Swamis from Brahma Madhva Sampradaya, Gauda Sampradaya, but not before Gauda. From Madhvacharya only there are branches. And there's one branch called, one disciple follower who is called Rajendra Tirtha. And in that lineage, Vijayendra Tirtha and so many other Swamis were there. So Vijayendra Tirtha Swami in the 8th century went to Varanasi, and Varanasi is supposed to be our main Pitha, our caste, Gauda Sarva Brahmin. Kashi Matha is our main Matha. We belong to Kashi Matha from our caste, from our birth. So that is where he went, and he actually brought Bindu Madhava deity from Varanasi to Mulki. So in Mulki, Mulika Kshetra, at the bank of Shambhavi River, my hometown, is the place where first deity which came was Bindu Madhava. Second deity which came was Venkatramana from Karkala. That's a long story. And the third deity which came was Ugra Narsimha, the deity which was worshipped by Prahlad Maharaj. Presented by Narsingh Bhagavan to Prahlad Maharaj. That deity was worshipped by Prahlad Maharaj, and at the time of Bali Maharaj's deliverance, he gave the deity to somebody, and that person brought it all the way down, and 2 yugas, 3 yugas, it stayed in the well. After that, Vijayendra Tirtha Swami manifested that deity from the well from Cochin, and from there it came to again Mulika Kshetra. So interestingly, in Mulki, in my hometown, you have the deity worshipped by Prahlad Maharaj, Narsimha deity worshipped by Prahlad Maharaj, and all the 3 deities have come from different places. There is nothing original from that place. So, sabse below is Bindu Madhav, in between is Ura Narsimha of Prahlad Maharaj, and the topmost pedestal is the deity of Venkatramana with Bhudevi and Sri Devi. This is the glorious darshan of my hometown, ancient most temple of Venkatramana. Hari Bol. And Dr. Kamakshi is from our village, hometown. Hari Bol. Thank you very much. Any other questions there? Okay. So with this, I take your leave, and thank you very much for joining us today. Next time we will meet and we'll have further discussions on Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Dr. Kamakshi, you are from which place?
Prabhuji, I'm from Sirsi, and I'm married to a guy who is from Udupi, and we live in Pune, Prabhuji.
Oh, you live in Pune, but you are
yes.
born. Okay.
Yes.
I am born in Mumbai. I'm staying in Mumbai, but I am from Udupi.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jai Jai Sri Radhe.